First film today is Krampus, or Krampus.
Krampus. So, Krampus is a film by Michael Dougherty, who did Trick or Treat, which I have not seen.
That's good.
But it's meant to be really good, yeah.
That's
but
really good.
haven't seen that. And this is essentially a Christmas horror film. You don't get to see that much, do you?
It's the
a
first
Christmas horror film.
It's the first Christmas horror since Black Christmas, which was about 8 years ago, maybe more.
Was it? Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, so basically, it's the few days before Christmas, and there's one family who are basically a lover, but the parents are at edge with each other, and the kid is just in wanting to be the spirit of Christmas. The parents played by Adam Scott and Toni Collette, and the kid who is not the little kid from Jurassic World, which I thought he was.
Isn't it?
No, it's not.
It wasn't.
It's not. No,
it's the kid from, what do I say he was from? Oh, hang on. We'll have to get this up because he was in something else.
Yeah, so, but he has got the spirit of Christmas. He desperately wants his family to have a normal Christmas to get away from all the stress. However, Toni Collette's family and her sister have come to stay, and they are not what...
He was the kid and chef.
The kid and chef, yep. There you go. And they are not very nice people. So Sarah's sister, Toni Collette's character Linda, played by Allison Tolman, and her extremely far-right husband, Howard, played by David, I always get his name wrong. Koechner. And also the aunt, as well, played by Conchata Ferrell, who is 2.5 Men, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
2.5. She's the maid in 2.5 Men. I haven't seen that.
Edward's his hands as well.
Oh, there you go. But so they are the family from hell, basically, and they are just making this kid's life even worse. And his hopes for a nice Christmas are just going lower and lower down the till. And then when her sister's kids get a hold of his Christmas letter and read it out and embarrass him, he loses the will for Christmas altogether, rips up the letter, and summons the Krampus. Krampus. Now, Krampus is... the best way to describe it is the fact that it's a B movie, and that's very much what you feel, because it's got a very low budget, and there is only like 3 locations in the whole film that's doing most of the film is either in the attic or in the living room of the house, but it's really, really entertaining. Yep. Because despite the fact that it is a B movie and it's gloriously camp, it's stupidly entertaining, and it is legitimately a little scary at times, because the practical effects of some of Krampus's little helpers, including like a jack-in-the-box and like a horrible caterpillar,
thing
like
with the teeth.
Yeah, like that's just, it's terrifying. Like, I mean, it's really, really. I mean, I can imagine this is one of the films that you might sort of see as a kid when you're sort of 7 or 8. And you'll be infatuated with it because it's just so weird and creepy.
Well, the big throwback that everyone's saying is Gremlins.
Yeah, I think this will be Gremlins in 20 years' time. This will be this decade's equivalent of Gremlins. A new
cult Christmas film.
Yeah, a new cult. And I'm glad to say that, because this could have bombed in the wrong hands. You know, in the trailer I was getting decent vibes, but I feel like this could have bombed horrendously. And to its credit, it does walk that line mostly between drama and comedy and horror, so it plays itself nicely enough, and it doesn't beat you over the head every second with the be good for Christmas, you know, apart from the ending maybe, but you know, it allows itself to revel in the stupid horror franchise that you want to get.
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, impressive.
The whole like onslaught of monsters just give me a Cabin in the Woods vibe.
Yeah, incredibly impressive monitor VFX. I thought it had a really good soundtrack with a few I love how it twisted on the classic sort of the juxtaposition of classic Christmas songs, like at the start, especially with that it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
No, it's the most wonderful.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Sorry, yeah, with the start when they had like the Black Friday footage, like obviously newly recorded, like sales.
Having been in town yesterday to get Christmas shopping, I totally feel it.
I love that whole juxtaposition. Like in some of the like horror scenes, some of the gruesome scenes, you've got like these classic 50s, 60s Christmas songs playing in the background, and I really, really loved that. I thought that was good, lovely juxtaposition, and it's just really, really fun throughout the whole thing. Some great monster designs, some wonderful sort of inspired character designs of the. I mean, all of the characters are archetypes. You know, they're sketched out well enough to understand who's a bad guy, who you hate, who's a bit of a bad person, and who you generally want to survive. You've got that half of the family with Adam Scott and the kid who wants to believe in Christmas again, and then the other side of the family who are, they're bad people, but you realise as the film goes on that they're not that bad underneath their horrible attitudes and exteriors and the far right attitudes that they have. But it's that's what you need to have in a good horror film. You need those sort of extreme stereotypes to play along with the whole message of the film and allow the horror to flow.
And then of course to have the redemption as well.
Yeah, exactly, and have the redemption at the end. And as the film progresses, obviously people do get picked off, and there's an ending to the film.
Yeah.
And it fades to black, and you're like, that's bleak. That's very, very, very bleak.
Yeah.
And you feel like, are they going to do that? But no, it fades back in 2 seconds later, and the ending is better. I've read about it.
I heard you gasp, and I was like,
yeah,
wait,
no,
it can't be that.
I did. I was like, don't you dare, because I thought they were going with one of the endings it's probably one of the worst kind of endings they have in Hollywood, and it's very cliche. But they didn't, thankfully, because it does another sort of twist at the end, and then it's much more satisfying because there's like a double meaning to it where you could have sort of all sorts of interpretations. We'll talk about it later date. I don't want to spoil it, but
No.
I think it works for me, and as a film, it definitely does work in total because it is genuinely funny at times. It's got some great character designs, and it's good just to see something that you'll probably watch when you're slightly drunk and just having a fun time at Christmas, you know.
So you think alternative Christmas?
Yeah, I think
classic.
like an alternative Christmas classic has been made here because it's not a great film, you know. There are some story, pacing issues, and obviously the characters are very stereotypical and like narrowly sketched. But that works in the favour of the film because it allows you to be like, want him to die. Oh no, don't let him die. Don't let her die. Don't let him die. You know, you got the anger point for the characters, so you realise who you want to stay alive and who you want to die. So when you get the satisfaction of people being killed off in gruesome ways, which this film does, because as of 15, it does push the boundary a little.
PG-13 in the States, but 15 here. It's like it's one of those rare times it hasn't worked out. Normally, PG-13, 12A, but it is a 15 here because it cuts through the Fs, doesn't it? It cuts through some of the.
And while it does take a little while to get off the ground, it takes about 40 minutes for all the stuff to actually start kicking off. It does, when it picks up, it really does get gruesome and sort of. It gets really, really. I like that. And but you don't see the Krampus itself too much. And I know there've been complaints about that, and I don't think that's a bad thing because it allows you to be like.
It was a pretty cool design.
And when the design is great, but when I like the fact that they teased him, you know, and they didn't bring him in straight away. Like you see him in the first, like when the action actually starts, you see him almost immediately in one of the scenes, but then you don't see him for a very long time after that. And I think that works in the film's favour. You just sort of angle, like hook them in, and then sort of wait and bait them for a little while, so you don't actually spoil the whole surprises of it. But as a film, I think it's another Christmas classic in the making. Not a great film, but definitely a decent watch and something I'd recommend.
Joe.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Krampus. I liked all the dark elements, dark comedy elements. I liked the good old. I mean, the 40-minute wait is a bit slow, but I think it does definitely pay off in the sense of the good old one's been taken down. Can't wait for them. Can't wait for the rest to discover and see what happens. Really compliment them on the ending because you don't often get that with other Hollywood films, which I was very glad they ended the way they did. I will admit though, even though the designs and all the little critters and the helpers and stuff were good, I was kind of nodding off during the fight scenes with those because they were kind of boringly shot, to be honest. I didn't find them that entertaining at all.
I thought those gingerbread men were poorly CGI'd as well, but I mean, when you're on a low budget.
No, it wasn't actually that low budget. I think it was about 10 million.
Oh well, and the fact that you cannot really do practical effects with gingerbread men and make it look convincing.
No. The practical, I wasn't really bothered. It's just the way. It's just the way it kind of happened. Just bothered. But overall, I really enjoyed Krampus. I'd recommend it highly for your alternative Christmas film.
And Adam Scott's not Adam Scott. He's actually quite brave.
I love on the credits because they did the usual Christmas credits, and his face is just the usual face, Parks and Rec face. Yeah.
And I really liked Omi, the German grandmother as well.
Yeah,
she brought a bit of gothic. Good. But yeah, I mean, the soundtrack's really chilling, and it really adds to the whole premise of the film, and the designs are great, and it's just another Christmas classic, I think.
Coming together to kill Christmas.
Krampus.